Check me out. Yeah. Great day, kings and queens. Welcome to another conversation with Drew. This is a magnificent Monday, and it's an honor, it's a privilege, to share this gift that God has placed in me with you guys. It's a beautiful and humbling experience to share the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, through my experiences that's causing me to become the best version of myself. And I pray that, these words help you to find and discover the best version of yourself and then truly serve it into the earth. Today, I wanted to touch on trust. Something that's so vital, man. Ew, when we hear that word trust, I know that that our stomach cringes. It's something that, that we all struggle with. And we're struggling with trust because of the things that we've experienced in life. And it's causing us to not trust even the plan of God for our lives. And it's so amazing that when you finally understand trust and the power and the authority that the trust gives you, you begin to cultivate it, you begin to develop it. It's just that we've been hurt. You know what I mean? Speaking personally for myself, we've been hurt. We've been abandoned. We've been let down. And so it's so hard for us to trust people. It's so hard for us to trust people. Therefore, it's so hard for us to trust God. How Andrew Clayborn, how do I trust something that I cannot even see and I can't even physically touch? And the things that I've been able to physically touch and see have hurt me, have caused me to lose faith, have caused me to lose trust. And that's a very good question. And so for me personally, what I found out was the key was forgiveness. Forgiveness is the key to begin to build your trust. Y'all wasn't ready for that one right there. Great morning, Queen. The forgiveness piece is so powerful, right? Now, y'all been rocking and rolling with me, for the last couple of months. And y'all been able to see the transformation in my own life when it came to this trust piece and this forgiveness piece. And so, if y'all haven't, just to give y'all a quick synopsis, God had did something amazing in me after I had gone through a hard breakup, and he allowed me to experience this forgiveness piece with this queen who I had just experienced this breakup with, and it was truly transformative. I didn't know that it was birthing part of my calling, part of my purpose, part of my ministry, so to speak. And so during this process, I was able to forgive my father for an estranged and abandoned relationship for 32 years. And in that process, we were healed in 20 minutes, literally healed in 20 minutes, where we now have a true father-son relationship after 32 years. I'm 32, y'all, so that means my whole entire life. And so what I'm saying to you is that this forgiveness piece is so powerful because I also had an estranged relationship with my oldest brother for the past 10 years. God was doing some things in him, and over the past 10 years, our relationship hasn't been as strong as it was 10 years prior. And so he even restored that relationship. And, yesterday, my brother King Keith Camp, posted a picture of him and his father after 15 plus years of not having his father in his life, really never having his father in his life his whole time, in his whole life, but seeing how through this forgiveness piece that he was able to restore an estranged and an abandoned relationship. And so what I'm saying to you today, kings and queens, is that in order for you to begin to build this trust that you need in yourself and what you need in God and what you need in man, you have to begin to forgive. That forgiveness piece is so vital. It's so important. It's so imperative that you understand it, right? Because I couldn't truly trust God because of what I had experienced here on earth. And it's easy to say, well, I still trust God, I don't trust man. It's like you can't trust God and then not trust man. Why? Because God is in man. You understand me? So this is the importance of being able to truly trust again, to truly have faith again. Because if we can say we trust, that's like, God said, you can't say that you love me and don't love your brother. You know what I mean? Like, it's impossible. Why? Because God is in your brother. So if you cannot love your brother, there's no way that you could possibly love God. Therefore, you cannot trust your brother. There's no possible way that you could truly trust God. And so what he's showing me is that when we're able to then forgive our brothers, when we're able to truly trust our brothers, this is how we find a true trust in God, right? Because it is difficult when we go through the experiences that we do in life and we try to trust God, like for our purpose, right? And so y'all heard me get on here time and time again and say things like, Isaiah 46 says, I am God and there's no one like me. I'm God, and there's no one beside me. I set the end from the beginning, meaning that God finishes your life before he starts it. And so it's hard to trust that. We've all heard trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding. We've all heard these things over and over and over again, but it's so hard when we're going through things in life for us to trust the experience. Well, God has shown me how. And faith comes by hearing. And so you have to literally get in a place of hearing God in such an intimate way. And the only way that can happen is through trust. The only way that can happen is through forgiveness. And so when we begin to forgive our fellow man, when we begin to forgive our brothers and sisters, we begin to get in such a place in God, because you can't really honor and worship God in spirit and truth until you get into that place of forgiveness. It's blocking you, kings and queens. I'm not making this up. It's blocking you from really hearing the voice of the Lord. It's blocking you from really having that genuine relationship. I'm not talking about on Sundays. I'm talking about from Sunday to Sunday. Having that real, genuine, authentic relationship in God, the only way is through trust and forgiveness. And it's literally transformed my entire life. I couldn't trust the fact that the woman who I was just in a relationship with may be my wife and may not be my wife, but because we came into the relationship broken, it crumbled, right? So I couldn't trust the fact that I need to let her go and allow God to work on her as God work on me. And that may be my wife, it may not be, but I couldn't get to that place until I forgave. So what I'm saying to you, kings and queens, is that when you truly understand the power of forgiveness, the principle of forgiveness, it allows you to get into that place of really trusting God, trusting something that you cannot see, trusting someone you cannot see. But it's real, it's authentic, it's genuine. How can I get here if it's not real? How can I get to this place as a king if it's not real? If the Bible is not real, if God is not real, if Jesus Christ is not real, how am I transforming right before you guys' eyes? How? Explain that to me. You can't. So go ahead and keep your argument. So let me continue. The power in trusting God, it allows you to find peace. It allows you to really have peace in the midst of that storm. When everything seems to be falling apart, where everything seems to be going against you, when everything seems like it's blowing you one way to the next, you have to find peace. You have to find that peace by forgiving people, literally. Forgiving people and being able to trust God. It's powerful. It's power. And I listen, kings and queens, man. I give you my truth. I give you my raw, uncut truth, because I know that me sharing this with you allows you to find who it is that you need to be and be able to operate and function in the fullness of who you are, right? I literally committed infidelity in the beginning of my relationship, right? Having habits that I didn't know was there. When I opened up Pandora's box, these habits came back out. Even though I was gung-ho on being a husband, I still had these undeveloped habits in the position and in the place of being a father and a husband, right? And so I committed infidelity in the first year of my relationship, right? This is how powerful it is. Literally, I just had to call the woman who I committed this infidelity with and apologize to this woman. Now, I could have went on with life. I could have forgot about this woman. She could have forgot about me. I could have just kept pushing, right? But the Holy Spirit led me to do it. Why? Because when God places me on a platform that he's taking me on, right? That's a soul that needs to be saved. So therefore, when I get to that platform, it could be two options. She can either say, man, look at him, man. That's the dude who hurt me, man. He get on my freaking nerves. You know what I mean? I ain't trusting not a nair, not a word he's saying, right? Even if it can be the word that transformed her life, look what that hurt and that pain and that unforgiveness did, right? So when the Holy Spirit called, put it on my heart to reach out to this queen and call her, right? This is what happened. She said, man, you know what, Drew? I thank you so much for calling me. Yes, it hurt me. Yes, it bothered me. Yes, it broke me. She said, but man, I thank you so much for calling me and I forgive you. Now, when she sees me on that platform, what's going to happen? She's going to see the king in me. She's going to see the God in me. Therefore, her soul can be saved and moved in the right direction of what it is that she's supposed to be doing from something that God put in me. That's the power of forgiveness. Why? So what did that just do? It allowed her to now be able to trust God, because the God that she sees in me, she can now trust because of forgiveness. I'm telling you, kings and queens, man, y'all better get this work and understanding, man. It'll take your life to a whole new different level, because faith comes by hearing. That means that you got to keep applying the hearing aspect of it over and over and over and over again, and it builds your trust. Again, because what happened with man, with this woman, could have destroyed the relationship that the Father now is about to establish in this woman's life. Why? Because of trust. Why? Because of forgiveness. When you understand the power of it, man, it will change your entire life. I thought that I was making this up, man. I really did. I thought that I was making this up until God began to literally do supernatural things in a blink of an eye. What up, King? He began to really do things in a blink of an eye. And I have been able to build my trust in God through forgiving people. Literally, listen, I'm telling you, right? This brother reached out to me about 2 weeks ago, right? Power of forgiveness. And I'm applying it to everything. I'm a forgiving freak now. Like, I'm literally forgiving everything and everyone because I understand the power of it, right? Brother, he reached out to me. Intentions were great. He reached out to me about 2 weeks ago. He said, man, Drew, when can we finally sit down and have this talk about this insurance piece, this life insurance piece, right? This is how powerful it is. Kings, watch this. He said, you know what I mean? I want to sit down. I said, man, right now I don't have the time. You know what I mean? I got a lot going on. I'm building this, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. He was like, well, you came to my mind, when I seen that this young brother who was into fitness, you know what I mean? He just had a massive heart attack and died. And I just want you to be able to have something to, to leave your son. Man, look, that bothered me when he said that. Because the king rose up in me like, man, like, what you talking about, man? I said, first and foremost, I said, that man dying, I said, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I said, that must have been God's will. I said, and that's unfortunate. I said, but second of all, I said, I'm going to leave my son, my prince, more than some funky insurance. This is what I said to this man. And this was the king rising up in me, but my response was wrong. Because his intentions were right. But my response was wrong, right? It plagued me for the next 2 weeks, right? It plagued me for the next 2 weeks. And the Holy Spirit finally got to me and said, man, reach out to that man and apologize for your response. Not what you said wasn't wrong. You are going to leave your children's children wealth. But your response to his intentions were wrong. So I literally had to reach out to this man and forgive this man. I'm showing y'all on all levels forgiveness. Why? Because we really need to understand this. This is the only way that you're going to be able to trust God's purpose and plan for your life where you are right now. It's by forgiving those around you who've hurt you. By forgiving yourself for putting yourself in certain positions is the only way that you're going to be able to truly trust again. Again, we hear trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. But if you do not understand the purpose and power of forgiving, you will never be able to trust. Why? Because that woman did you wrong. That man did you wrong, right? So what that means, that if you don't forgive that man, if you don't forgive that woman, the next relationship you go in, you can't trust it fully. Even though it's a clean slate, even though you've never been with this person and this person has never hurt you, the fact that you are still living in condemnation, which is the law of sin to death, instead of in forgiveness, which is the law of spirit of life in Jesus Christ, there's no possible way, kings and queens, that you can really be free. I'm telling you, man, I just experienced this and it changed my life forever. It don't matter if you accidentally bump me. Oh, man, my fault, man. I apologize. You know what I mean? It was my fault. I forgive you. Why? Because I don't want no condemnation in my soul. I don't want no condemnation plaguing me. Why? Because it will not allow you to trust the purpose and plan of God for your life. Period. Once you understand the authority and the power in forgiving, you'll start looking up every single person who done you wrong or who you done wrong, and you'll start asking for forgiveness, and you'll start forgiving immediately. That's why you're not trusting right now. That's why you're having such a hard time trusting right now. I am telling you, this is the raw, uncut truth. Once I got to this place, I was able to let my queen go, who I was just in a relationship with. And I'm truly trusting God that if that's my queen, she'll come back. If not, he already molded me something greater. He already molded her something greater. But I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? Like Muhammad said, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I don't know what she gonna get. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, but I am the greatest. Yeah, you understand me? Like literally. But it allowed me to get to this place because I understand the power and principle of forgiveness. When you are able to forgive, that leads to you being able to truly trust. And once you understand that, once you understand the authority and power of you forgiving your fellow man, you operate in such a trust that it will free you from literally all the things that you are going through that you cannot see are there to promote you. You're looking at it as punishments, but you're not being punished. You're being promoted, but you can't see the promotion because it is uncomfortable. You can't see it because you feel like it's unfruitful. But he said, I chose you. You didn't choose me, and ordained you that you should go and bear fruit and that your fruit should remain. That whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. This is a law. Understand that your life is predestined, preordained. It was already written down in stone tablets. It was already written down in a book of life. Therefore, if you do not understand the power and principle of forgiveness, you can't trust that plan. You can't. There's no way. Because the law is the law and it won't change according to your emotions. The law is the law. And you have to forgive in order to trust. If I'm making this up right now, why are you not trusting then? Oh, I can trust the new man because he ain't never hurt me. I just can't trust that buster who just hurt me though. That's not how it works. That's emotion talking. That's not law. Law says I have to forgive him in order to truly be able to trust. Why? Because now you're going into something conditionally, saying that if he does what he did, then I'm leaving him too. So you're just going to keep going in relationship after relationship after relationship, not understanding that you needed to truly forgive him. Why? Because the next man may do some things that's similar, but he's not the same man. And he has the potential and opportunity to be even greater, but you weren't there to be the helpmeet, or you weren't there to mold her as the king and wash her with the word of God because you didn't forgive who you were just with. You didn't forgive the last person who burned you in that business transaction. You didn't forgive the last friend that walked out of your life, and therefore you can't establish real relationships and friendships anymore. The only way that you can trust God's plan is by forgiving. And when you understand the power in forgiving, when you understand the principle of forgiving, it'll allow you to trust unconditionally. Unconditionally. Anyone and anything you get involved into. If not, you will be toxic. You will be poisonous. You will bring death to everything that you walk into. Everything. Everything. Period. All people are doing is going from one situation to the next and literally piling some new stuff on top of the old stuff. And then you wonder why your seed is not bringing forth any prosperous fruit. Because you're piling it on top of death. You're planting your seeds in dead soil. That's why the produce that we're eating now it doesn't have the nutritional value. Why? Because they contaminated the soil. So that's why we have to get organic if we want to be somewhat healthy now. But if you just go and get some regular produce, it's now lacking nutrition, and that's why we're having to take supplements in order to fulfill what the food should have naturally done. Why? Because the soil has been contaminated. So therefore, any seeds you put down in that soil is not going to allow the produce to produce the nutritional value that we need to be healthy in life. Therefore, when you do not forgive, you are literally planting new seeds in contaminated soil, and you're thinking that it's going to produce prosperous fruit, and it won't. It won't, man. I ain't making this up, man. Y'all don't understand, man. I live this every day. When y'all don't see me on this camera, I'm getting that work. Literally, I have 24 hours to get this work in order to convey these messages to you. Period. That's what I do with my entire life. So if y'all just thinking that I'm just randomly getting on here spitting some stuff out, you are out your mind. Please put your marbles back in place, because this is not no made up spur of the moment type thing. This is the truth that I live and breathe every day. I seek the Father every day with my whole entire life, because I want y'all to become the best version of yourselves. Y'all don't understand. I am simply a vessel. I'm a conduit. Ain't nothing special about Andrew Clayborn except the fact that I realized that there was something special that he put in me. And so I grabbed hold of that, and I'm riding this bad boy and praying that the wheels never fall off until he just take me up like Enoch. You understand me? Just go ahead and take me up. Like, let me be no more. You understand me? Like, I'm for real, because I understand the power. I understand the authority of these laws and these principles. And I understand that it creates value in you that's so great, right? It creates such value in you that any and everywhere that you go, you are pure gold. Meaning that anything and you touch, it has to prosper. That's why I had to change my thinking. That's why I had to renew my mind so I can transform my life. Because I understood that what I was living in before was toxic. So I dedicated my life to finding these laws and principles to be able to give man, so man can become what God originally created you to be. And that's kings and queens, having dominion over your area of gifting, being the leader you were created to be, managing the resources in the earth, becoming the greatest version of yourself, bringing his kingdom into the earth, so we can reign forever. That's it. Once he showed me that, I became unstoppable. So what I'm saying to you right now, kings and queens, is that in order for you to trust that plan that I just spilled out to you, that plan that I just literally said to you, in order for you to trust that for your life, you have to forgive. Period. You have to forgive. I just told you at the beginning of this video that my relationship with my father after 32 years that was estranged, that was abandoned, that was null and void, literally was restored in 20 minutes because of forgiveness of self and him. He forgave himself, he forgave me, and we had a relationship in a matter of 20 minutes. My brother King Keith Cam literally posted a picture of him and his father after 15 years because he was able to sit down and pour out the resentment that was in his heart and listen to his father and what he had to say about life and why he wasn't the father that he needed. And they were able to consummate that thing. They were able to substantiate that thing by prayer, by the power of forgiveness. So now his trust level just went up. His trust in the Father just went up. Why? Because faith comes by hearing. When you keep hearing these type of examples, when you keep experiencing these type of examples, it builds your trust. What happened first though? Forgiveness. So when you understand that, kings and queens, again, you will start making a list. Literally, who do I need to ask for forgiveness? Who do I need to go and forgive? I am telling you, it don't matter if it's been 10 years. It don't matter if it's been 20 years. It don't matter, man. Go and find that individual. We got social media. We got access to people like that. Go and find that person. It don't matter if it feels weird or uncomfortable. Go find them. Get off the internet. Literally, go find them. Look them in their eyes and pour out the things that you either resented them for or that you felt guilty for, and ask for their forgiveness and forgive them, and watch how you begin to trust in God's purpose and plan for your life like never before. Until then, you are a slave. You are a slave to that guilt. You are a slave to that condemnation. You are a slave to that resentment. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. This is not my words. These are not my laws. I'm just giving them to you so you can become the greatest version of yourself. My life is changing. I'm watching people's life constantly change by forgiving themselves and by forgiving others. And that's allowing them to truly trust in the Lord with all their heart and lean not on their own understanding in all their ways to be able to acknowledge him. Why? Because they're trusting now. Because they forgave first. thank you guys for tuning in. I pray that this magnificent Monday just blessed you guys. I know that it blessed me to be able to pour it out. So even if you faking over there and you ain't really wanting this work, it's working. You understand me? And I'm gonna keep living it just to be a testimony, you know what I mean, of the power of the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? And I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I thank you guys for supporting me and allowing my gift to have a platform to be able to pour out into the earth. But remember, it's not a look, it's a lifestyle. Because we do this every day, not to impress people, but to leave an impression on the earth. Everybody on there, let me just get a whole bunch of likes real fast, a whole bunch of hearts. I just want to see the screen fill up real fast. You know what I mean? Let me get some of that energy from you guys, you know what I mean, before I tap out. Go ahead, now. Like. Oh, man, y'all ain't hearing me. Oh, there they go. Yeah, let it fill up. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, man, I thank you guys, man. I love you guys, man. Y'all are so in my debt and my gratitude, man. I love you guys. I really do. I appreciate you guys, man. Have a magnificent Monday. Share this video with at least one person. They need that word. Peace.